What's happening, people? Just coming on today. I've just got a question for y'all about this movie here. I don't know who remembers this one, but who remembers the movie Stepfather 3? Not one or two, but three. And then, no, hey, I just gotta say this: a lot of those movies, those slasher-esque movies that came out in the 80s and early 90s, they just throwing them all sequels. I mean, they had sequels to the sequel Stepfather. They had sequels to The Dentist. They had, Pumpkinhead had sequels. I mean, my goodness, everyone had a sequel. But this one is Stepfather 3. This one picks up with pretty much the exact same story as the other previous two. It's about a dude who goes, about a crazy dude, mind you. He's absolutely nuts. He goes around trying to find the perfect family, convinces the woman for some reason or another to fall in love with him. They get married, but she already has a kid. And something triggers him. Next thing you know, it's not the perfect family for him, and they have to die, basically. And so he has to take them out. He goes through this elaborate schemes to try to, take out any witnesses, and then eventually leads to the mother and the child. And so in the third one, same scenario, but it's not played by the same actor who did the first two. I don't know whether that was a money dispute or he wasn't available or what have you, but it's by a different guy. And same MO. They justify, which I thought was pretty clever. They covered it up, but they justified the new guy by saying he had plastic surgery done on his face. I'm like, oh, okay, let's throw that out there. So he does all this stuff. He just starts terrorizing the town. No one's knowing where these people are coming up missing and all this stuff because he found the perfect family. He didn't want anybody to mess with the perfect family. There's a lady and her son who's in a wheelchair, and as they start to get together and build their relationship for him to eventually marry her. He's trying to bond with the boy, but the bonding isn't working. The boy's always suspicious of him, and for good reason. And he ends up, discovering that the guy is, who the old actor is. He discovers he did a face over and figured out who he was. And so the stepfather ends up, the boy was best friends with a priest. Weird dynamic, mind you. Weird, because the priest was super old. But he ended up, the stepfather ended up finding out where the priest was, ran him off the road, told the boy, whose name was Andy, that he's been in a terrible car accident, this, that, and the third. Oh, backtrack a little bit. One of my favorite scenes is when he tried to get him to play football. The boy's he's in a wheelchair. He's not gonna be able to run and tackle. Come on, he tried to get him to play football, play catch. The boy got frustrated, but it's funny to watch now. As I've gotten older, that scene's gotten funny to me. But anyway, he back on track. He discovers that, and he ends up taking out the boy's best friend, which is the old priest. He takes all the boy's computer equipment and everything like that. Then he starts hey, I want another family. So he wants to get with another lady who just moved into the neighborhood. So he's decides I have to take out this family I have now so I can be with this one. It ended up going to the greenhouse he was working at, and he had both women there. Next thing you know, he's fighting them, saying he has to take everyone out. He's no one wants to be. He's he can't have everything just be perfect. If you let him fix it, it'll be perfect. Him fixing means he's gonna just basically, he's gonna kill you. That's him fixing everything. So what ends up happening, the girl's a little melee or whatever, and the guy ends up falling over a wood chipper. For some reason, I just thought as a kid wood chippers were plentiful. They were just everywhere. So he ended up getting over a wood chipper, and he grabbed onto the boy. He grabbed onto the boy to try to pull him with him. So that's the movie. But the big part is, in the end, when they're having this desperate struggle to keep the stepfather from pulling Andy into the wood chipper with him, the mom just yells at him to let go. she just is, let go, and held that note for a long time until he eventually let go. I think he just got sick of hearing her yell. He's like, I'd rather die than listen to your voice. That's all I can get from that. That's all I can get from that. But that's the Stepfather 3. I don't know who else remembers that one. Again, that was one of those late night Cinemax movies that used to come on around 11, 12 at night. So who else remembers Stepfather 3? Hit me up.